FDR's fireside chat, calming a nation in crisis. How do you calm a nation in panic? On March 12, 1933, a president with a patrician accent and a warm tone accomplished what no leader had done before. He turned a nation's radios into a direct line to its government. Just 8 days after taking office, Franklin Delano Roosevelt faced an immediate crisis. Americans were withdrawing their money from banks at an alarming rate, threatening to collapse the entire financial system. Over 5,000 banks had already failed, wiping out the savings of millions. Meet Louise Hines of Chicago, who had lost her factory job and most of her savings when her local bank collapsed. Like nearly 60 million other Americans, roughly half the country's population, she tuned in that Sunday night, uncertain about her future and skeptical of government promises. What happened next was revolutionary. For just under 15 minutes, Roosevelt explained the banking crisis in simple terms, as if chatting with neighbors. "Let me talk for a few minutes with the people of the United States about banking," he began, setting a tone that transformed the relationship between presidents and citizens. The impact was immediate. The next day, bank deposits exceeded withdrawals for the first time in months. One banker reported, "It was like a religious revival. Suddenly, the people had faith." Roosevelt had achieved through conversation what emergency legislation alone could not. He had restored trust. Today, we take direct presidential communication for granted. But before this fireside chat, a term coined by a CBS manager, not the White House, presidents rarely spoke directly to citizens outside of formal speeches and written statements. Roosevelt would go on to deliver 30 such broadcasts throughout his presidency. What made these talks so effective wasn't just Roosevelt's policies. It was his understanding of a fundamental truth, that in times of crisis, people need not just solutions, but understanding. Nearly 80% of Americans had radios in their homes by 1933, but Roosevelt was the first president to truly grasp the medium's power for emotional connection. The next time you see a president address the nation in a crisis, whether on television, social media, or whatever platform comes next, remember March 12, 1933, when a leader with a distinctive voice first recognized that sometimes the most powerful tool in governance isn't legislation or executive orders, but the simple act of clear, compassionate explanation.